In this video, I want to talk to you about my journey with perimenopause. Now, I can talk to you as a doctor because then I can do all the explanations and what medication to use and all the things that comes with it. But I'm going to share it from my personal experience because it sucked at first and now it's a lot better. So, my perimenopause started early. I didn't think it was perimenopause. I thought it was just stress. I started probably like early 40s, 40, 41 years old. I was getting palpitations, occasional hot flushes, anxiety, panic attacks, very difficult sleeping. And I thought that it was just stress because I was going through some tough patches at that time. And then it got worse, but it changed, it shifted. I became very depressed, lack of motivation, very disconnected to my body, and almost very numb under there, very numb down below. Just did not feel any feeling in my body when my husband tried to come close to me. I just coil up and just coil up in, yeah, it just like tighten up. It was just like it's almost like porcupine. Like no, 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 no. And it was only after I spoke to a colleague of mine, and she said, you know, maybe in perimenopause. I was like, I'm really young for it. And they said, why don't you just try, this is a just try HRT and see whether that works. Because I've really done the supplements, I've done the blood tests, check what I'm deficient in, and I, address that. And I tried HRT. First I didn't go use the gel because I just can't be bothered to do it every day. I started with the patch first and I used patch 25 dose estrogen patch, and then taking the capsule. Because I was still having periods at the time, um, I used sorry, I used two capsules. I was doing the cyclical protocol, which is two estrogen capsules, two weeks on, 2 weeks off, and then having my patch change twice a week. And I started feeling better, and then I slowly increased it to 50. And then I think when I was on HRT, I think 3 months on, my bleeding increased. I had an ultrasound scan, just found a small fibroid. I had that cleared. Is it fibroid? Yeah, small fibroid cyst. They had that cleared. Biopsy, it was nothing. And then smear test, that was nothing. That was good because I had early stage cervical cancer when I was in 30, so I get that regularly checked up, and I was fine with that. And then I, and then something gradually, I it's almost like a cloud being lifted gradually, and I could I had more motivation to do what I need to do, like go to therapy, go to the gym, exercise, had more energy, had, yeah, I think the biggest thing is that cloud. And it's almost feel like when I was so disconnected, almost disconnected to the world, and it's almost like I'm out of this body. I'm out of my skin, and I don't want to be in this life. I know it's morbid, but I really did feel that morbid. Okay, it's ridiculous. I did feel that morbid. And it's almost like I just felt I'm meant to be further on, but my body is still here. So I'm almost like split. I don't know. I mean, if there was a multiverse, I felt that at that time I was in like the multiverse and just felt like I was in different parts of the world. Maybe it's like the Matrix. I feel like I was in the Matrix. But doing HRT, maybe I'm taking the blue pill or the red pill. I can't remember which one it is, but maybe I'll just come back to the Matrix and I feel better because I'm oblivious. I don't know. That's what I think. But yes, I'm feeling a lot better now with my perimenopause. I'm able to go to the gym. I have more energy. I'm able to build muscle. Um, able to manage my emotions a lot better. I was in rage. Oh my God, my life was always in a lot of rage, lots of frustration, and just like all the pent up, you know, resentment the last 40 years, and able to process that um, on my own and with therapists as well. So that's my experience with perimenopause. And in a weird way, as I'm preparing for my 50s, I feel I'm prepared to enter menopause because my periods are very scattered, very little. It's almost like almost more, what's the word called? Spotting rather than actually bleeding. And mine happens every 3 months with it. So I think with perimenopause, people always say that, it's reverse puberty. And yes, it is reverse puberty, but I found that it's almost like a passage for every woman to go through. It's almost like, yes, puberty passage from like child to almost adult to that whole messy part. But perimenopause is that messy middle. We move from being a 30s, being in our 30s, 40s, but being like wise queen, crone, I don't know what the terms they call it now. And yeah, I think crone, wise. Yeah, I like that. The 50s, when they always say, oh, they don't give a F and everything, but almost like you you find who you are or almost come back, remember who you are and feel more grounded in who you are, accept more of yourself with less judgment, shame, and conditions. And perimenopause, to me, was a blessing in disguise. It really like forced me to look at things that I needed to address because I couldn't continue life running on that treadmill because I burnt out twice. And yeah, at the beginning of when my perimenopause, yeah, I burnt out. Really, it really like and it forced me to look at it. So that's my, yeah, I think another thing I would mention as well, jumping kind of like, is because I passed that messy part. Sometimes I do feel guilty. It's a weird thing. I think maybe it's a women thing. Maybe it's just a me thing. I do feel guilty because I do see women suffering with perimenopause, and I don't want to keep talking about it because um, I know I want to share this because it is possible to feel, I don't know, feel confident in perimenopause, feel that you've you've got it handled. And even with that, it's unpredictable, but still, you've got it handled. Okay. Now, I wanted to share with you, alongside this video, a, a, a reel I did on Instagram on the advice I would give to 40-year-old women. Okay, from a 47-year-old woman in perimenopause. It's it's actually a trend, and I see a lot of women in their 50s and 60s, and it's great because I learn things as well from women ahead of me, and I feel even though I'm still in my 40s, I'm in perimenopause. So I wanted to share my take on that. Okay, so enjoy. Any questions? Let me know. Comment section below.
Jumping on this trend and sharing as a 47-year integrative doctor who's in perimenopause. Your skin will change, so don't hold on to what used to work so tightly. Keep it simple, strengthen your barrier, reduce inflammation, and hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Everything else is a bonus. You will look and feel like you're going through puberty again, and I know that sucks, but remember you got 40 years of experience behind you, so you are more equipped to get through this than you realize. Your decision to have or not to have cosmetic treatment is no one else's business. So just make sure you get educated and find a reputable practitioner. Stress worsens symptoms, and perimenopause worsens our response to stress. So you need to up-level your skill in removing, reducing, and managing your stress. Otherwise, you will go crazy. Invest in testing to get a baseline on what's going on. Nutrient deficiency, anemia, thyroid problems, inflammation, and sugar dysregulation all worsen symptoms. Grin and bear it when HRT can potentially help with so many of your symptoms. Speak to your doctor about it. If your doctor's not listening, find another one who does. Going through the change takes a lot of energy, so make sure you're eating to fuel and help you thrive and not just survive. Build your muscles to protect your bone, brain, and heart because you're going to live long. And I know you don't want to spend the last few years of your life in the hospital or in the home care. You will question your identity, your relationship, and your purpose. You will compare yourself, feel resentment and regret. Do what you need to, cry, go to therapy, journal, grieve, smash things in a rage room. Find ways to make peace with yourself so you can move forward and create the life you want. You're no longer a spring chicken, so longer recovery is much needed. Even with the best intentions and efforts, life is still unpredictable. So learn to be with yourself even when you don't know all the answers or when you don't love yourself, because eventually you will do.